Another caller. Let's talk to Duff in Kansas. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex, it's a real privilege to get to talk to you as a result of listening to
Duff, it's good to talk to you, but your phone is really bad. Try to get it out quick. Put Duff on hold and see if they can get a better Skype or a better, get to a better spot on their cell phone. It's unintelligible, Duff. Leo in Pennsylvania, you're on the air.
Mr. Jones, how are you today?
Good, sir. Welcome.
I hail you once again for all your efforts to continue to expose these people. Listen, this morning you were talking about conditioning and how they use celebrities, to make us think that these people are something that they really aren't. Hollywood's been using films for a number of years to condition us into believing certain things. Now, hold on to your hat. I watched a movie last night called 13, The Conspiracy, and they constantly referred to the New World Order in the film. All these, an assassination attempt takes place. Actually, it becomes a reality where they assassinate the president. And they use this as a premise to show people that this New World Order is needed desperately to bring control and put an end to the violence in the country. They've been doing this for so long, it's actually gotten to the point where it's ridiculous.
Really? So in this movie, they sell world government as a savior.
Exactly. Now, I have a question for Mr. Chapman today. Is he there?
Yes.
I certainly am.
Yeah, Bob, listen. I know that you have the answers to a lot of these questions, and my big question is this. And are you aware of a time frame that we could set ourselves up to know when they're going to come about with this national ID card? And if, in fact, that is going to become a reality, do you believe that that is a prelude to the mark of the beast?
Well, first of all, timing in here is so difficult because we're forcing them to change their plans. We're forcing them to make mistakes. They never thought Greece would turn out the way it has, with the Greek people saying, hey, we don't want to do that. And so there are things that are happening, changing things. So you really can't put a timeline on it. All you can do is tell people this is really what they want to do, and let's let them do it. And, file your complaints with your elected members and hope it does some good. But timing's too hard. The timing in the Middle East right now is not too difficult. I mean, how many vessels do they have there, and how many planes and how many hundreds of thousands of people ready to attack
and you've got
Iran.
Netanyahu visiting, and they're saying they're getting ready for war. Let me comment on this. The mark of the beast is here. The cashless society is here. In my first film, made 13 years ago, America Destroyed by Design, I have Bill Clinton's executive order to take blood and other DNA to get a driver's license, to biometrically face scan and thumbprint, and they'll have to have basically a driver's license to have a job. Now, what they do is they bring in an SPP, North American Union. They issue a hemispheric travel card, which they've already issued if you choose to get it, for Mexicans, Americans, and Canadians. So all of that is going on. Already, all 50 states have standardized their driver's license to the feds. Some are fighting against new regulations. They just pass a random real ID law, and then they can just keep adding regulations onto that blank check. They're putting thumb printers in at tanning salons, at gyms, at restaurants, at people to clock in at work. In Pennsylvania and other areas, inside the stores. The grocery stores basically won't, and this is mainstream news today. In fact, give me a close shot of this. The grocery stores won't be allowed to sell you beer because they can't be trusted. You'll have to go and face scan and breathalyzer and swipe your ID card to buy alcohol. They're going to have a new national sales tax. This has all been stated. That's going to be graduated. So, quote, poor people don't have to pay it. And so you'll have to swipe your card, though, to prove what bracket you're in, because there'd be fraud if there wasn't. You'd have somebody who made less than you go buy something. So that tracks everything you're doing. We're here. We have a national ID card. In 2000, the UN had a meeting in Australia. It was in their papers that a global standardization for IDs and the numbers and the precepts had been set. We already have a global ID. Libya, Iran, a few other countries haven't adopted it. Okay, just like they've been taking your blood for 38 years secretly for DNA databases at birth, now they admit it. Just like they've been fluoridating worldwide in the West. Same standardization, 1 part per million. That we are already in a global managed system. The OECD, the corporation set up to take over Europe after World War II, is a private corporate consortium, just like the WTO over trade. They decide everything financial. They decide how many numbers are on your driver's license. They decide, just like I've had all these members of parliament on from England, over 70% of their laws are EU decided. Well, Bush, his last year in office, signed the Transatlantic Alliance, merging the North American Union with the Euro. He gave a press conference saying we had now merged. In 2000, they had the 50th anniversary of the Euro in all of the member countries with huge marches and fireworks. Literally no one showed up. You'd have parades with no one there. And they celebrated 50 years in 2000, in 2007, because it really was set up in 1957 with the Treaty of Rome, though they officially set up the euro in 2000. We're in a global government now. Bob Chapman.
I agree with that. In fact, I just wrote an article in the last issue, and I'm continuing in the coming issue, about Europe and its evolutionary process from the common market and EFTA, which I lived through because I lived in Europe at the time, and then the Treaty of Rome, and onward into GATT and then WTO and to the place that we're at today, particularly in view of their accomplishment in free trade, globalization, offshoring, and outsourcing. And I think their system in Europe is breaking down. I think they're having a heck of a time, not only financially and economically, but nobody wants to play anymore. And so that's why I think the euro is going to be history, and it may even break up the EU.
Stay there. We're going to break, come back with more calls, and we'll keep you 5 minutes to the next segment. And then Sheriff Babu is joining us from Arizona, coming up in the last hour for about 30 minutes, and we'll cover other news and important information. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv, and internationalforecaster.com. Stay with us. We've got an article up at Infowars.com. A great artist sent us his rendition of the evolution of a parasite. That's what I've dubbed it. We've got a little blurb that the author wrote about why he did this piece. It shows the evolution of communism, the parasitic system, the kingdom of the parasites. And it shows instead of the evolutionary going from an ape-like creature to modern man, it degenerates downwards from Barack Obama to Michael Moore to Lenin and Stalin and then Karl Marx. Yeah, Ben Pack did that. So we've got that up on Infowars.com right now. It's really talented material if you want to check it out. We've got Bob with us till 5 after. Let's go to Mike in Tennessee. Mike, thanks for holding her on the air.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
I have a quick comment and a question that's related to the comment, and I'm going to have to ask Mr. Chapman to put on his intel officer hat here for just a minute, if he would. The comment is Mr. Jones, were talking earlier about Israel's nuclear arsenal, and you may not have been meaning it this way, but it seems to me that you were sort of saying that Israel was getting away with something, having these nuclear weapons, when they really weren't. What they did was that when it came time to sign up to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, they just said no. And they weren't the only nation.
I mean, you misunderstood what I was saying. Israel has always said that they don't have nukes. And then in the last few years, they said, well, if we do, it's a secret. I agree. Nobody has to sign on to these United Nations treaties. And Israel shouldn't have to, and neither should Iran. My issue is I'm against a preemptive nuclear attack on Iran. That is mass murder. That is evil. I mean, look, the Nazis thought they were doing good. The communists thought they were doing good. Our country thought it was doing good, killing Native Americans. This is wrong. We can't let this happen. Our government has overthrown Iran repeatedly. BP used to literally rule Iran. It had a previous name, Anglo-American Oil, inside Iran. I mean, Iran isn't perfect, and I'm not buddies with Iran. I'm against nuking innocent countries. I'm against lying about WMDs in Iraq. And the majority of Republicans are now on record saying they were against, that now they think the Iraq war was wrong. Bob Chapman, what's your take on this?